Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pretty Aggressive. My name's Julia and I run Pretty Aggressive Recovery Coaching. I help people learn how to thrive in this life because simply surviving is bullshit. I am a certified transformation specialist, I am a certified personal trainer, and I am currently working on my certification for nutritional coaching. I work with people who have been raised with toxic, poorly bonded, abusive, low nurture parenting, as well as adverse childhood experiences. Today, I am so excited for this episode, as usual. I love sharing. And today, I'm sharing a story from one of my clients that I felt was extremely important. Legends are lessons from our past. And our storytelling is what creates our village, it's what creates our community, and it's why we have them, so that we can pass down experiences and the lessons within them to help others. And so that's what we're doing today. All of my clients are protected by anonymity and privacy, so just like a therapy session, no particular details will be released about the client where someone could potentially identify them if you didn't really know them. So today's story is from a client I've had for about a month and a half, and I watched her have some very interesting experiences. And the privilege is honestly mine to watch my clients grow so much. Almost every single session I sit with them as they utilize the tools and they participate in the homework that I offer them to change their lives and to start walking the path to recovery and path to start thriving rather than just surviving this life. So today's story is, I'll start with one of the original stories my client shared with me from her youth, which was a very traumatic story and is very unfortunate for anyone to have in their past. When my client was 12, she was playing with a friend outside and broke her ankle. She managed to get herself home with the help of her friend and into the mudroom of her house. As she entered the mudroom and her mother found her, she told her mother that she thinks she broke her ankle. Her mother's response was to call her a liar and to tell her to remain in the mudroom until she was done lying. My client did as her mother asked all night. And when her mother came and woke up in the morning, found her still in the mudroom and asked her why she was still there. And my client could only respond because she still believed her ankle to be broken and her mother told her to stay there. Irritated and angry with her own child, my client's mother took her to the hospital where it was confirmed that she did have a broken ankle. For anyone, this would be a traumatic story. To have your own mother not believe you that you felt hurt and to not respond with affection, protection, and kindness, or concern even, when you express that you feel you've been hurt. So a month into our sessions, my client broke her ankle. 38 years later, the same exact ankle. And I, knowing from my work and my study what this was, and it's very easily found and stated in It Didn't Start With You. This is Mark Wolyn's How Inherited Family Trauma Shapes Who We Are and How to End the Cycle. So although we are unable to identify what cycle of abuse or trauma was occurring between mother and daughter at this time, we are able to identify a cycle of trauma going on within one client or one person. Mark Wolyn writes, Sigmund Freud identified this pattern more than 100 years ago. Traumatic reenactment, or repetition compulsion, as Freud called it, is an attempt of the unconscious to replay what's unresolved so we can get it right. This unconscious drive to relive past events could be one of the mechanisms at work when families repeat unresolved traumas in future generations. And it is also where we find toxic repetitious behavior in our own lives and in our own behavior and in our own choices. And in this case, in our own circumstances. my client is reliving a trauma that is so similar to one she has already previously experienced and has not yet found a resolution to. During around the same time, my client and I had been working through two separate tools. One of them was being able to form or recreate or remold a memory, a particular memory, into a state or into a conscious labeling or conscious understanding in order for us to work on releasing it. So the better we're able to categorize or visualize or separate a particular memory and decide on its pieces and parts, the easier it is for us to decide on how and what we're releasing and how to let it go. And also, the other tool we were working on was how to mother and nurture ourselves. Because when we are raised with toxic parents, and especially toxic mothers, who are typically the people in our village or in our family system that teach us how to self-nurture and self-soothe by example and by participating with us, if we don't receive this, we miss out on the example or the practice of how to soothe ourselves. And this can be everything from coaching ourselves through a hard moment of, it's okay, you can do it, I'm right here for you, you're going to make it, to giving ourselves the extra attention and detail because we have self-worth and self-care and self-love. Like, instead of just coming home and cracking a drink after a long day and drinking straight out of the bottle or the can, we actually prepare a beautiful drink for ourselves to congratulate ourselves on a hard day of work. This is the extra care in folding our laundry or cleaning our home or tucking in the bed sheets just the way we like them to see our bed made. And to be able to do this for ourselves is a practice nature. It doesn't come from some sort of intrinsic or biological created knowledge. We need an example set for us. So some people, most people who have never seen this or never had this from a mother, have a difficult time understanding how to do this for themselves. It feels awkward or unfamiliar, especially. So after my client has broken her ankle, the same exact one for the second time, and understands that this has come at a time in her life where the universe is really asking her, really telling her that it is time to get it right. She got to one of the nights after she had come home and noticed a smell from her cast. She realized that it had been a few days of her sweating in this cast and that there was now an odor. So she decided to go through and make the choice of going through the motion of opening up the cast and taking care and consideration while washing out the cast and putting baking soda in the cast to absorb the extra odor and to put essential oils in the cast so after she puts it back on that it has a nice aroma to it. And she also went through washing her leg and washing her ankle with care and kindness and extra attention and detail. She rubbed her ankle in lavender salts, and after drying it off, she rubbed eucalyptus or tea tree oil on her leg. And the entire time she was going through this extra care and considerate process with herself, showing her body the attention and care and kindness that a mother, a loving mother, would give to her child who's been injured. She is reworking through the memory of the past and understanding that now in the present, she can talk to herself and say, I'm mothering me now. It is my turn. No one will do this better than I will, and I will self-soothe. And this entire process allowed her to achieve both of the tools of being able to get into a habit and practice a habit of nurturing herself, as well as recreating the memory. She is now using this as her trauma recovery. It's a post-traumatic growth past the previous situation, where she is able to release bitterness and anger and resentment because now she's able to walk through that memory getting it right. I cried when she told me the story. I am so grateful and blessed to have a number of clients that I am able to join them on their journey and help facilitate and walk through with them their recovery and their growth and their movement into learning to thrive and build their own resiliency. I am extremely proud of all of my clients, and I am extremely grateful and humbled by the work that I do every day. So that is my share, our legends, our lessons from our past, and it is important that we share our stories. Please remember that you can find me at prettyaggressive.net. I am currently redesigning the website, but there is still access to many resources on the site. You can also find me on Facebook at prettyaggressiveofficial, on Instagram at prettyaggressive_official. That's 2 R's and aggressive, two R's or 2 G's and 2 S's, somewhere in there, you'll figure it out. And you can also find me on the podcast that I do with my girlfriend called #EnlightenedBitches. We are available on Spotify and Anchor.com. And you can also access my book titled Beyond Damage, The Aggressive Recovery from the Toxic Mother-Daughter Bond. And you can find that on all of the Amazon.com.ca.uk.az. Again, my name is Julia, and I run Pretty Aggressive Recovery Coaching. Put out into the world what you wish to see. I love you all.